author named Arthur Miller wrote a famous screenplay called The Crucible. And in this screenplay, one of the characters makes this statement, quoting the apocryphal book of Tobit, where he says, "Do that which is good, and no harm shall come to you." Now, we have come to see this philosophy really take hold or take grasp, not even recently, but all throughout time, how different belief systems, different cultures have really grasped this and said, yes, if you do good, then good things will happen to you. We can see this emphasized in Buddhism with karma, where they say that if we act morally, if we act ethically, then we'll be rewarded in this life or even in the next life. This concept of doing good and being rewarded by the universe or some higher being has really taken hold more recently. You know, when you're in America, and we've seen some people do surveys on the street, and they'll say, "Oh, so do you think you're going to heaven or hell?" And they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to heaven because I've lived a good life. I'm going to heaven because I'm a good person. I'm going to heaven because I've never murdered anyone, I've never raped anyone, and I've never done some crazy international robbery or whatever." You know, but this is not true. We see in Romans when it says, "For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God," that we are completely depraved and not able to get into heaven on our own. There's no way. So then, where is our hope? What hope do we have for our lives? What hope do we have for our next life? Or are we stuck here just sitting, worrying about what we're to do next? The hope we have is in Jesus Christ. And in Him taking us from a nephros to a theos. Alright, if you have Bibles, please turn with me. If not, it's going to be on PPT. To Galatians 3, 22. Alright. "But the Scripture imprisoned everything under sin, so that the promise by faith in Jesus Christ might be given to those who believe. Now before faith came, we were held captive under the law, imprisoned until the coming faith would be revealed. So then the law was our guardian until Christ came, in order that we might be justified by faith. But now that faith has come, we are no longer under a guardian. For in Christ Jesus you are all sons of God through faith. For as many of you who are baptized into Christ have put on Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. And if you are Christ, then you are Abraham's offspring, heirs according to promise." Now, from this verse, and of course there were so many different angles I could have gone towards it on. I could have, like Pastor Derek taught us in class, but I decided to look a more evangelistic approach. So the thing that struck me, or the thing that stepped out to me the most, was that a sinful man will never inherit eternal life by works or human effort, and only by trusting in the grace of Jesus Christ can he become a genuine son heir. Now, alright, quick question for you guys. How many of you grew up in Roman culture? Given that none of you have, to kind of explain some stuff. In the Roman culture, a son that's born into a family, at that point, is not an heir. They are first a nepios, or small son. And this son is, of course it's the son of the father, but they're not entitled to anything. They're basically the same level, or they're entitled to just as much of the inheritance of the father as the slave is. But at a time appointed by the father, chosen by the father, they're able to go through almost like a rite of passage and become the huios, which is the son who is able to inherit. Now, in this rite, as the son, when the son is still a small son, a nepios, he has this caretaker who follows him, this guardian, this teacher, this pedagogus. And this one follows them around, goes them to school, kind of trains them, disciplines them, protects them in case they get bullied or whatever. And this is a pretty big part in their training of character and discipline and whatnot. But on the day that they become a son heir, almost like a man, this guardian is no longer needed because this person's able to live on their own. Another part of this ritual is that the nepios gets a change of clothes. When they're still unable to inherit, they wear this toga praetexta, which is quite easily distinguishable by the red border on the white toga. But when they go through this rite of passage, boom, they change clothes to a toga pura or virilis, which is pure white. And this is just a state, it's like taking off the clothing of childhood and putting on the clothing of manhood. Now, this boy, prior to this ritual, is completely unable to touch the inheritance. He is not entitled to anything by the law. He is about the same level as the slaves were in terms of entitlement to inheritance. Regardless of what he does in his life, be it in education, in athletics, in reputation and popularity, this son is still not entitled to anything. But on the day that the father chooses for him to step into this new stage of life as a huios, then he is able to take upon the inheritance. Now, again, to us, as we hear stuff like this, I mean, it all sounds nice and good, but we didn't really grow up in their culture or anything, so it's harder for us to get a true grasp of what this meant to them. So I'll go back and explain a little bit more, or at least try to. So, who are we? We are broken people. We have sinned. We've fallen short of the glory of God. And we are unable to take hold of the inheritance which He has for us, this inheritance of blessing, this inheritance of eternal life. And we are completely unable to touch it, no matter how good we are, no matter what we achieve in this life, no matter how great we do in our work, how much of a reputation we have, how people see us, and whatnot. We are completely unable to touch this without the grace of God. And prior to us taking hold of this grace by faith, we are imprisoned and in bondage to sin and stuck under this stronghold of feeling like we need to perform a certain way, of feeling like we need to do good things to gain good karma or good luck or good fortune and whatnot. Basically, before grace, we are slaves. We are enslaved and entitled to performing well. You know, sometimes we feel like we can right the wrongs of our sin or of our mistakes by performing better in another aspect or another area of life, and then it ends up just being like you mess up and then you have to do something good to cancel that out. And then you mess up and you do something good again, you cancel that out. And that's why we become in bondage to having to try over and over again to do well, or try over and over again to perform in certain ways. And it is only when we throw off everything and admit our depravity and admit that we are not able to make it in this life on our own, that we are able to see, or that we're able to truly grasp the grace that God has extended for us. That we're able to take hold of this true and pure gift that He has for us. You know, but when we hear this thing about when we hear about their culture, the Roman culture, and the different levels, there's the Nepios and the whales, we say, I wouldn't even see myself as a Nepios. I would see myself as a slave. You know, but there's hope in that, because in their culture, the slave actually can take hold of the inheritance. The slave can take hold of the inheritance through adoption by the father. When the father chooses to adopt the son, he makes him a free man. And that free man is able to take hold of the father's riches, the father's wealth, and the father's inheritance. And one good hope that we have is that in their culture, the free people, or once a slave has been made free, it's punishable, or highly punishable, to take that made free man back to slavery. Those who have been made free can't be brought back down, unless, well, they commit some crazy crime and they are entitled to that. But now that this grace is extended to us, this offer for adoption to each and every one of us, we have to respond. Not by our works, not by our deeds, not by our trivially trying to pursue greatness, but just with a small yes, with our small act of faith, stepping forward into the grace that He has for us, stepping into this call that He has for us. Not because of who we are, but because of what He has done for us, and not because of what we've done, but because of who He is. And if you know what that is, that's a song from Casting Crowns. One way that I've always seen this call of grace that the Lord has for us is like this picture. Preface, I'm super bad with PowerPoint, so I literally just took pictures and stacked them on top of it. Is this, before Jesus, this is who we are. Is there a light? Before Jesus, we're like that man, sitting or drowning in an ocean. Constantly struggling, trying to swim, trying to tread so we get to the surface. But once we're at the surface, we're trying to get up here. But, I mean, obviously we can't get up there. Oh, there's the cross. And this is the inheritance that the Lord has available for us. But we can't touch it because we're stuck down here. And we can't fly. We can swim to the top as much as we want, but that's not helping us at all. But by Christ's work on the cross, He threw out this life preserver for us. And He's saying, this is the grace that I have for you. You take hold of it and I'll pull you up. And so it's this small yes that we make, this small statement of yes, I understand I'm broken, I'm weak, I'm not able to make it anywhere on my own, by my own strength. I'm done looking at this. And I know that I need you and that I'm lost without you, so please take me. And this is the gift and the adoption that He has for us, the grace which He has for us, that we may step into the inheritance and the fullness of glory with Him on the day that He returns. Amen. I think I'm done.